So today I'm going to talk about tell the story, and tell the story along with the movie technique is one of the things that we use anytime we have an event that we want to clear either for ourselves or if we're working with the client. And so it's for a specific event. So if you think, oh, for instance, the teacher's always picked on me, that's very global. So it's not suitable for the movie technique or my ongoing court case. Again, that's a kind of a continuous thing, but maybe there are specific events within that. So like, for instance, the difficult conversation with my solicitor might be one little event, or if you have something from school, the time I read out my Irish homework in school and the teacher made fun of me. So they're very much for tell the movie and the movie technique are for specific events. So anytime I have an event, it comes up with a client, it's usually one of these techniques that I will use, either movie or tell the story in terms of clearing it. And so again, what we want to do is, we want to make, first of all, it's sure it's a specific event. And sometimes people kind of link a number of events together. So say, for instance, they might have something like my wedding day. So a wedding day typically lasts 12 hours longer. And I imagine there might be a lot of little events within that. So I would take one event. So for instance, the getting stuck in traffic on my way back from the hairdresser, or the best man's inappropriate speech might be another separate movie. So sometimes the clue is in the title when people give you the title. So the first thing we do is when we've narrowed it down, we know that it's a specific event. We say, okay, well, what's the overall intensity? So with tell the story, like with the movie technique, we want to get the overall intensity on the title of whatever the story is. So I'm going to do the something that happened to me, and just to give you an illustration, and I'm going to call it The Angry Man. So when I think of that story, the overall intensity is at an 8. So we tap on the title. So even though I have this story called The Angry Man, and I feel a lot of intensity, I deeply and completely accept myself. So we do that 3 times on the side of the hand and 3 times around the body. I'm going to do it only once just to speed things up. So feeling this intensity, the angry man story, feeling this intensity, feeling this intensity, feeling this intensity, the angry man story, feeling this intensity, the angry man story, and we go around twice more. And then we test again just to see what the intensity. And once it's down to about a 3 or less, that's sufficient. So we can start to go into the story. Now, I suppose the difference between tell the story versus the movie, with the movie technique, we absolutely don't know what's going on. And we are relying on the client then to stop when they feel something. Also, we're going to be watching and just noticing if there's any change of expression or change in body language. But sometimes, there might be other parts of the story that they're not recognizing, that there might be a little bit of intensity there. So tell the story, I suppose, gives us the opportunity to interject and say, look, can I just stop you there? Just to check if there's any intensity. So what I like to do is I like to pre-frame with my clients when I'm working with them, just to say, I'm going to be stopping you at different points of when you're telling the story. If I think that maybe there might be something there, just so that we can clear it. Okay, so this story is basically I go for a walk every morning. So it's not a globe, but a globe thing. It's a particular time. And what happened was that I was walking along, doing my steps, and this man pulled out from a lane right in front of me. So I'm walking along and I'm doing my steps, whatever, going fine, no emotion there. That feels all okay. And next thing, this car jumps out. So first emotion is shock. Okay. So even though I feel this shock, this car is pulled out in front of me. I deeply and completely accept myself. So we do it 3 times on the side of the hand, 3 times around the body. Feeling this shock, this car is pulled out in front of me. Feeling this shock, this car is pulled out in front of me. Feeling this shock, this car is pulled out in front of me. Feeling this shock, this car is pulled out in front of me. Twice more around the body. And then we test what the level of shock is. So let's say it was an 8 at the start. Maybe it's down to a 3. So I do another round until I get it down to 0. So continue to tell the story. So so after the shock, then it's just actually bit of fear because he could have actually hit me. So even though I'm feeling this fear, because he could have hit me. So I'm using the detail from the story in the setup and reminder, and I deeply and completely accept myself. So even though I'm feeling this fear because he could have hit me, I deeply and completely accept myself. Even though I'm feeling this fear because he could have hit me, and I deeply and completely accept myself. Feeling this fear, he could have hit me. 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 And then twice more around the body. And we clear that until we get that down to a 0. So then the next emotion is actually angry because he stopped me on my walk and I have a timer thing on my phone. So I'm angry because he stopped me. He's going to slow me down. So even though I'm feeling angry because he's going to slow me down, I deeply and completely accept myself. Twice more on the side of the hand. Feeling angry, he's going to slow me down. 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 And twice more. So again, we get that down to 0. So that all feels fine. So then the next thing that happens is that I think, okay, maybe I could go behind the car because rather than walking out in front of the car. So he's jutting out of the lane at this stage. And then I go and there isn't enough room. So frustrated. So even though I'm frustrated because there isn't enough room for me to go behind the car, I deeply and completely accept myself. Feeling frustrated, there isn't enough room for me to go behind the car. Feeling frustrated, there isn't enough room. I can't go behind the car. Feeling frustrated, there isn't enough room. I can't go behind the car. So then I'm trying to remember what was happening because I then decide to go in front of the car because he's stationary. And at the same time, then he goes forward. Again, I get a fright, even though I feel frightened because he nearly hit me again. And I deeply and completely accept myself. 3 times on the side of the hand, 3 times on the body. So I feel frightened. He nearly hit me again. 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 Keep on doing that until the frightened feeling is down to 0. And then the next thing he shouts at me, you stupid bloody woman. Shock. And I think it's the shock of his words calling me a stupid bloody woman. I actually think of myself as being very young, like a girl, not a woman. I know that sounds silly, but actually that's the thing that it's the words that he said. Even though I feel the shock, he called me a stupid bloody woman. I deeply and completely accept myself. Feeling this shock, you stupid bloody woman. Feeling this shock, you stupid bloody woman. Feeling the shock. His words, calling me a stupid bloody woman. Feeling this shock. And so on 3 times around the body. And I keep on doing that until then the shock is down to 0. So then the next part of the story is then he actually pulls back and I go to walk in front of him. And I think the word I would use is reeling. I'm still a bit reeling after what has happened. So even though I'm reeling after what has happened, I deeply and completely accept myself. I'm reeling after what has happened. 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 And again, twice more around the body. And we keep on doing that until we get that down to 0. And then that's the end of the story. Okay. So again, like with the movie technique, we want to run through it. So either I can say it out loud or I can run through it in my head. So I'm just going to imagine running through in my head again. And actually, it's at the point of calling me a stupid bloody woman. So I'm surprised, not in a good way though. Even though I'm feeling surprised and not in a good way that he's called me a stupid bloody woman, I deeply and completely accept myself. Feeling surprised, he called me a stupid bloody woman. Surprised at his words. Surprised he doesn't see me as a young thing, I think. Or yeah, he sees me as kind of an old woman, yeah. Feeling surprised, stupid bloody woman. Feeling surprised, Words he used, stupid bloody woman. Feeling surprised, the words he used, stupid bloody woman. Feeling surprised, stupid bloody woman. And another round around the body. And then what I do is I kind of go through the story again and just see anything else. And then we do a final run through of the story where we're exaggerating all the colors, the sounds, dialing up maybe, the sound of his voice, maybe a screech of the brakes, make it all much more intense, just to see if there's anything left over. So that's really kind of a true test. You always want to do 2 tests after you finish a movie technique or after you finish tell the story. Yeah, so that's the end of it. And you could also test, and sometimes the title of the story or the movie has changed. So has it changed? He was driving too quickly. That's what I'm calling the story. So that's the end of Tell the Story. Great technique, say, for using with a specific event. And as I say, because the client is giving you more information, you have more opportunity just to say, look, can I just stop you there just to see if there's anything, if there's any emotion, are you feeling any emotion when you feel at that part of the story? So that's it. And I hope you find this useful.